was wondering what was going to be said after that.
So, can I tell you real quick?
Go ahead.
So, I had a base shop meeting the other day, and I go, Siaosi thinks, and the rest of the office thinks I'm bringing him in to, like, train them on what he's done and all this stuff. The real reason I'm bringing him in is because I need, like, a dude with some Tonga swag to create a chant for me and my team. So that's the real reason you're here.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to be known for Tenacity's cheerleader. I do some work, you know what I mean? So, but like you said, before I go into everything that I want to talk about, I just want to say thank you to you guys, and thank you to Slayman. This is a big deal for me because this is my first time speaking outside of my office. So yeah. So thank you guys for, breaking me in as far as going out and speaking, because this is something that I see myself doing for a very long time. So, but to be able to come into an MVP's office and be able to speak to you guys is definitely a blessing to me. So thank you guys, and just help me give them a round of applause real quick. It's funny because I don't know if you guys know, but I'm kind of big. I came from a sport called football, so I grew up my whole life. I'm a local kid. I would just give you a little background of how I grew up and everything like that. But I want you guys to know that, like how he said, this is somebody that's in the grind. I'm not somebody to look up to. Yet at least, but I'm somebody that's side by side with you, that's in the grind, that's doing something that you guys are doing on an everyday basis. So I'm just sharing my story on where I'm at and where my focus is. So by no means have I ever accomplished anything that I wanted to do yet as far as in this business, but I'm on my way on there, or on the path just like how you guys are, okay? So just make sure you look at me like that. I don't want to be, because if you guys do that, then I'm going to feel like I'm cool and stuff like that. I'm not cool. I just want to be able to, as a matter of fact, I'm excited because this is going to make me eat my words. Anything that I speak today, I better be going and doing that as well. So look at that as being side by side with you guys, not so much here to give you guys what you guys need to do. So, cool? All right, cool. So I'll go over my story. I'm Samoan, not Tongan. So it's all right. MVPs can make it's okay. All one love Polynesians are all the same, so it's all good. But yeah, I'm Samoan. I grew up in a household of a bunch of people. If you guys want to make me happy, just feed us Samoan, feed us Polynesian, and boom, they're on your side forever. Loyalty, food, cheeseburgers, whatever it is. So yeah, save that for later. But yeah, I grew up in a household at least 10 to 20 people at a time. So me and my family members, there's 7 of us. So there's 3 boys and 4 girls. So I'm the second oldest, and I've been blessed with this size to go and move people from one point to the next point as far as hitting them on a football field. So I learned to play football, I don't want to say very early. The first time I played was in high school. So, found my talents early, and then I've been blessed. I went to South Hills High School. You guys know where that's at? West Covina, yeah, that's where I went to school. So, went to South Hills, and then 2011, I was blessed enough to go and earn myself a scholarship to University of Utah. And you guys know where that's at? Yeah. All right, cool. Just won yesterday. I don't know if you guys watch football, but on Thursday we won. So, yeah, so I went over there and then got myself a full-ride scholarship. The 4 years that I played, I was able to play 4 years, started 4 years. And then I got my degree, which was sociology, also known as the football degree. But hey, I actually use my degree more now in this business than I ever thought that I would actually use it. So blessed. It's funny how those things work. So, but then I always had a dream. My sole focus was to go and play in the NFL, and that was something. I gained a couple pounds since then, but the NFL was something that's always been on my mind. So I had the chance to go, and I didn't get drafted, but I was a free agent signee to the Kansas City Chiefs. And anybody know the Chiefs?
Oh yeah.
I always get. It's always funny when I talk about sports. I feel like sometimes in this environment, I look at everybody and they're in suits. So I'm like, the last time I had a sports conversation, everybody's in like pads and everything like that. So I just gotta double check. So, but yeah. I had my chance with them to be able to go and live the dream that I always, wanted to live. And, it was cool and it was fun, but just like everybody else that was playing with me at that time, I was naive to think that it would last forever, because that's all I knew. That's what I used to take me to that point in my life. So then I got cut, and then I came back home, and it was pretty hard for me because, you know, have you guys ever reached a goal in your life where you thought it would be, you know, smooth sailing from there, and then all of a sudden it gets taken away from you, right? So that's what I thought. I was like, man, I'm here, I'm wearing it, I'm number 59, this is it, my name's on my last name's on my back, and then boom, it's so easy, it's so nice, they just lay you down gently, like, hey, thank you so much. Next thing you know, I'm flying home 2 hours later. So just like that, you know, my dream was, at least what I thought what my dream was taken away from me. So brought my family back home to LA, and then just started working, jumping from job to job, and the way I ended up in WG was by total accident. Came in by referral of one of my friends I was working security with, and the rest was history. I saw an opportunity. For the first time, I felt like I had everything that football gave me, but I didn't have to hit somebody. You know what I mean? Like walking into here, I felt like I was going through the tunnel again. I didn't have to go and physically beat myself up, but yet everything that I ever dreamt of is back in my hands. As a matter of fact, more than what I dreamt of is in my hands. So it's just up to me to go and actually do that. So that's how I came into the business. And it's funny because I thought I was, you know, grown, and I thought I was mature, but this business is by far the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life. I don't mean that to scare you, but more to just like let you know that it's going to make you grow. It's going to make you do things that you never thought you could do, like this, public speaking, making you realize like how bad do you really want to go and get the goals that you guys talk about. You know, it's easy to put it on paper. It's another thing to go and put it in action and actually go and put that work in to get what you know, supposedly want. So that's how I came into the business. And why did I come into the business? Well, first, I never knew anything about money. I had financial advisors, you know, people, my agent made me sign up for JP Morgan. I didn't know any of that stuff. By the time I was out of the NFL, I was in debt. So it was, you know, learning financial concepts was something that I needed to know at that time. But now that the business is gone from like my head to my heart, now I understand that I'm not in the financial business. I'm into helping people, you know, achieve their goals. So that's why, because in the beginning, you know, some of you could probably relate. You're like, how the heck am I going to do finances? You know, I still don't even look like finances. But, you know, I know that my heart is in the right place, and that when people can feel that, I know that I can change somebody's perspective on how they look at things. So that's why I love what we do, because I don't consider myself in the financial business. I consider myself in building somebody's life business, you know, connecting to someone, getting them to their goals, like how somebody did that for me. Does that make sense? Yes. All right, cool. So, kind of just, I forgot the most important one. I have a son. So, yeah, so going back, I actually had my son in high school. So, but, you know, it's been the biggest blessing, and this business in itself alone has grown and made me a better father in ways that you guys couldn't even understand. Or maybe you can understand, but it's funny how, you know, this business is more than just this office. You know what I mean? It takes in, you can correlate that to your life. Cool? Cool. So, I just want to like tell you guys a little bit about what I've done to get to this point. Like I said, I'm right there in the trenches with you guys, so I'm grinding every day like you guys. So I just want to give you guys a perspective, maybe from somebody that is doing the same thing as you guys. All right? All right. So here's like.
What's your contract level?
I'm an associate. Yeah, and I'll tell you why. Don't worry. So write these down real quick. So I'm gonna tell you guys 5 questions that I always ask myself every single day. Okay? I'm not really gonna tell you guys points, because once I get to Schleman's level, then I'll tell you guys what you guys need to do. But this is something I ask myself to see if I'm on track as far as what I'm doing. Okay? So question number 1: am I growing? Okay? What do I mean by that? Because everybody comes up here and they're talking about, oh, you got to self-develop, you got to grow yourself. But don't let that compensate for the work that you have to put in. Okay? So what I mean by it, you know how we say recruit by day, sell by night? It's the same thing with growth. We got to work by day and grow by night. Okay? So put in the work and ask yourself, am I growing? Self-development books, yeah, that's cool. Podcast, that's cool, everything. But don't let that be the sole reason why you guys are not working. Does that make sense? Because work creates experience, and experience is something that you can't do unless you actually go and put in work. You can't have experience unless you actually put the work in. So don't let that fool you. Although it is a very important thing, you know, that cannot compensate for your work. It's like praying for something, like praying for $1 million, and you just sit back down and go back to sleep. You got to get back up and go and move. Whatever you pray for, whatever you ask for, you still got to go and move and go and make the moves necessary to align yourself for that to happen. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, cool. And then for 2, did I move my business forward? Okay. Today, did I move my business forward? Okay. So would you guys agree that we're all in different places in the business? All right. Yes. Some of us. Anybody here that's been here less than a month? All right, cool. A year? All right, how about a couple of years, 2+ years? All right, cool. So we're all at different levels in the business, right? So what I like to tell myself is, remember that. Why? Because the moment we start comparing ourselves is the moment we slow ourselves down. All right, I always tell myself, and you guys probably heard of this, but I always tell myself to stay in my own lane. Right? Some people are on some time, some people are spare time, some people are part-time, some people are full-time, some people are all the time. So those are all different lanes in my eyes. Okay, so the people that are sometimes, you can't compare yourself to the person that's full-time. Right? It's a different lane. But if you just stay in your lane and if you start looking around and comparing yourself, now you're looking at everybody else's lane, they might look like they're going faster. In reality, you're just slowing yourself down from a path that was just straight to the goals if you would have just stayed on it. Does that make sense? Yes. All right, cool. So stay in your lane, and then on top of that, whatever lane you're in, remember that there's a standard to that. All right, so if you're only able to put in 2 to 3 hours, there's a standard that you have to put into that as far as only having 2 to 3 hours. If you're full-time, there's a standard for full-time. So don't get it mixed up with, okay, but I did this, I did move my business forward, but is it relative to where you're at as far as what lane you're in? Does that make sense? All right, cool. And then 3, how are my associations? I have like a whole new set of friends every month because I always used to tell myself like, all right, I'm gonna make it to the top with everybody that that I grew up with, this and that, and that's not necessarily not the truth. But at the end of the day, if I want to go and put myself in a position to where I'm doing something towards my goals, I got to surround myself with people that make me feel uncomfortable, right? And that might not be my friends. As a matter of fact, I'm like the cool guy around my friends. Because, we're always living in the past. Whenever I'm with my friends, I feel like I'm talking about football all the time. But when I'm in WFG, it's like football is the last thing we talk about. It's all about, putting yourself around people like Slamming that's actually done something in the actual field that you're in right now. You know what I mean? So you don't necessarily have to cut them off, but just know where your associations are. Last month, I had a group of friends that I hung out a lot with, and then I became, I don't want to sound like a jerk, but I became the guy that was always talking about business. Once you become that person where you're always talking about yourself, you got to move to the next level. You know what I mean? When you become the subject, you gotta really realize and be aware of that you're that person. So you got to move to the next level. Does that make sense? Right. So that's what I always do. And the easiest way to do that is just to stay close to your leadership. All right. So if you're stay close to your leadership, and then they will take you around the people that will make you feel uncomfortable. Make sense? All right, cool. So, and then number 4 is, how close am I to my leadership / fire? All right. So you guys hear that all the time. How close are you guys to your leadership? This is something that I took right away. I was like, okay, I came in, I did my AMA. I was like, I don't care what I got to do. I just need to know how I need to sit. How do I get to sit in your seat? All right, so if I would have came to AMA with Schleiman, I was like, look, say no more. You already showed me how I can make this. How do I sit in your seat? And now he's going to show me, all right, you got to do this. Just take the strings. I'm the puppet, a big puppet. You know what I mean? But just take the strings, and whatever you pull, I'll move. If you guys can do that, it'll save so much trouble. And then on top of that, all of these will naturally grow within you, whether it be being in uncomfortable situations. All of these, if you allow them to do that, then you'll be able to do that in a faster time frame. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right, cool. And then question number 5: did I really work? All right. So I love WFG, but if I could keep it real, it's very easy to win in WFG. We get recognized for everything. Tying my shoe, I get recognized. But I'm not against it because it's definitely something that we need. But you have to be real with yourself. You know what I mean? Is the work that you're putting in, is that actually going to get you to your goals? You know what I mean? is getting one number a day actually going to get you to, you know, 500K? You know what I mean? Maybe over a span of time, but you can't be mad when it takes you 15, 20 years. You know what I mean? So it's all up to you as far as looking at yourself in the mirror and really saying it, scaling it from 1 to 10. Whatever lane you're in, all right, I had 2 to 3 hours this week to actually work for WFG. Did I max out my 1 to 2? Or on a scale of 1 to 10, how much work did I really put in? If I'm full-time, all right, so you had a chance to put in 60, 70 hours if you wanted to, but it's different in WFG. But if you wanted to put in those kind of hours, did you really put in the work that you could have done, or were you just in the office watching videos, you know, masterminding, whatever that is? I'm guilty of that stuff too sometimes, but I have to constantly check myself. That's why I ask these questions to myself every day. So don't let the you know, WFG world fool you. You got to understand that there's no such thing as cutting out the work. Make sense? Yeah. Trust me. I didn't like prospecting either. Imagine a 6'3", 330-pounder coming to you like, hey, excuse me. I was like, what? And then my hair is like everywhere while it's blowing, so I'm like, all right, trust me, I know. People will run away from me, so it's cool. But you got to put in that work. That's experience. Now I can tell my team really how it is, instead of, you know, talking from what the BFS says. You're talking from experience. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right, cool. It's not. All right. Oh, I'm so bad. I'm over here sweating. You guys are making me feel good. Yeah, I'm feeling good. But yeah. So be careful as far as, you know, knowing what that is as far as 1 to 10. Okay. And those are the 5 questions that I ask myself every single day before I go to sleep. It's kind of like my routine. All right. And that's what's ultimately got me to this point right now. Like Simon said, at convention as an associate team, you know, I had 20 people in seats. Okay. The reason why, I was told, the way I was raised in WFG was to dominate each category. Okay. So I'm not here to chase a title. I'm not here to chase, you know, a position. I'm here to chase, you know, the better self of me and becoming that leader, so I could actually speak to people like this and actually mean it from my heart, you know what I mean? And not just a routine that I'm writing down or not a checklist that I got to go through. This is from experience. This is from what I've put through as far as through the filters, okay? So there's one last thing that I kind of want to share with you guys. Do you mind if I... Oh, yeah, right on the board? Yeah. Oh, sorry. All right.
Sorry. I moved it because of the fan.
No, you're good. Thank you, though. I need it.
Yeah, you was dying, man. I was like, yo, Toko, hey.
You guys are the best. All right. Uh-oh. I better not mess this up. I'm over here with you. All right. My coach is looking proud of me right now. All right. All right, cool. So, write these down, okay? There's a purpose to this, I promise. So the first one.
Ask the person who invited you, and we're going to go ahead and get you out of here. Enjoy your Labor Day weekend.
Oh, I spelled that wrong. Where's the C at?
Right there.
After the I. Football players. All right. Utah. Remember, hey, I was paid to hit people. Not spell. They won't be proud of me. But anyway, that's funny. All right. So choices. I promise this is a purpose. Choices. All right. So every day we have a choice to do something. All right. So if we want to be that person that we're talking about, we have a choice to get a step forward to it, or we have a choice to step away from it. Let's just relate it to business. If we want to go and prospect, we have a choice to prospect that person, or we have a choice not to. But just know that whatever choice you make, all right, is going to turn into what? A habit. Okay? All right.
Did the doorbell not ring?
It didn't ring.
Oh,
This one's right, all right?
it rang.
Looks good? All right, cool. So there's a habit, right? So every choice that we make turns into a habit. After a certain amount of times we do it, now it becomes a habit, okay? So now if I choose not to prospect that person, I choose not to make that phone call, I choose not to go and make a list, now it becomes a habit. Now it's just like, all right, I'm not going to do it. Now if I see that person, even though it's the one I know I'm supposed to go and prospect, I'm going to walk right past them. because now I just turned that into something that I'm used to. Okay? So then what that turns into is an automatic reaction. Okay? So now when we walk past this person and we see them, now it's just automatic that I'm not even going to go and do it because I made the choice not to do it so many times that it became a habit, and now when I see a situation, I have an automatic reaction to that situation. Does that make sense? And then that ultimately is going to turn into Alright. You guys are the best. Alright. It's going to turn into your identity, right? So if you make the choices to not go and prospect that person, even though that's the one you're going to look for, it becomes a habit, okay? And then that habit becomes an automatic reaction to the situation, whether it be prospecting, whether it be making a phone call, whether it be making a list. Okay? Then that becomes your identity. Okay? So now that's who you are, that's what you're becoming if you don't change it. Now if you don't change it, now I'm gonna just be real, I learned this from church. I could put this to business, okay? Now it becomes second nature. Right? So now it becomes second nature. That's who I am now. So if I don't prospect, if I don't make a call, if I don't make a list, then it becomes a habit of not making those lists, not making those calls, not prospecting that person, and then it becomes an automatic reaction to that situation. So if someone tells me to make a phone call, I'm not going to do it because it's just that my habit. And then it becomes who I am as far as my identity. If I don't change it, it becomes second nature. Okay? And then ultimately, that's what's going to chain us to who we want to be. Okay? Whether that be the person that's going to go and become a strength of the business, or the past where it's going to hold you down. Right? So you guys have a decision that every day I look through this filter. If you put whatever you guys do every day through this filter, it'll tell you the truth every single time. And one link at a time every day over 365 days is going to make a chain, and it's either going to chain you to the person that you want to become, or it's going to chain you to the person that you want to avoid. Okay? So this right here is what I live by as far as when I learned it from church. I got it from church, I can't take it. It's something that I totally, correlate to the business. So whoever you guys want to become in the business, whether it be, a part-time person that makes 6 figures, right? Whether it be a full-time person that wants to become a giant, that's what I want to become. Then you got to go and put it through these filters, and it'll chain you to that person. And if you continuously make a link every single day to that chain, you're gonna get closer and closer and closer to that path. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so that's all I got, man. I appreciate
So, questions? Who's got questions for Siaosi about what he's done in 12 months, how he's done it, what he's focused on, where he's going next? Silver, get started.
Yeah, you said you were going to tell us why you're selling Siaosi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So like I said, I was taught to dominate a category, not to chase a title. So now that I've dominated, we dominated both events, which is Sizzler and convention. So I actually just submitted an app that was 18,000 points. So I'm pretty good now that we took care of those less than 13,000. So I'll promote this coming month. I don't know if all the points are going to hit, but definitely have everything in the pipeline for me to promote as a team to next month. So we'll be MD. So we're going to skip senior associate to go to MD. So my whole point of it was to just dominate and become that person in the hierarchy, and then obviously transition into somebody that can actually compete into MD instead of trying to build it from scratch and have the title. So I want to have already the skill sets to be able to run my team, to be able to run phone calls, to be able to have all the experience I need to teach a team. So when I take that title, it's something that I transition to, and I start rolling full steam, and I don't have to slow down. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Great questions.
Yeah.
Who else?
First of all, are you full-time or part-time?
Full-time.
You're full-time?
How long have you been full-time?
I've been full-time for about 3 months.
3 months?
Yeah.
Awesome. What's your day look like?
So, morning, I hit the office, 10 o'clock in the morning. That's just when our office is open. But we run late nights. I don't ever get home until after about 12. But his actual work, we go from about 10. My last appointment was probably like around 8 or 9. Yeah. And then in between that, if I don't have anything going on, I got to prospect. That's something that I kind of fell off before convention, and now that's why it's something you got to continue to practice, because it's going to change you to that person. And even stopping for like 2-3 weeks, you go back to it. Oh my gosh!
It's hard.
Now everybody's running away from me again. I'm like, whoa. And now you got to redo that. So like you got to stay consistent. It's not just a one-day thing. That's why it's a daily thing. You got to do that.
Yeah.
Do this because I am somebody that has fell off of prospecting because I tap rooted. I learned how to tap root. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm good at this and that, and then reality, man, you got to go back to the basics because that can only go so far. You know what I mean? So I'm like I said, I'm still learning with you guys. So that's something that I caught myself as far as. Oh, go ahead.
I have 2 questions. One, how old are you? And then second, why are you doing this? What's your vision?
Oh, okay. So one, I'm 26. I turned 26 in May. And why am I doing this? To be honest, I suggest you guys do this too, because when I first started it was to make money. But what I learned in the past 12 months is that each month my goal changes. Because now it's not about money because I make money. And so to answer your question right now, my why is my team. I have a vision big enough to fit enough people that can actually stick to that vision.
What's your vision for your team?
So basically, as a team, I want to be the best team that's ever came out of Tenacity, let alone Dan's hierarchy. That's no disrespect to anybody. But if I'm able to sell that vision to everybody, then everybody within that vision is going to hit their goal. So for me personally, it's to get somebody like you to hit your goal. If I could do that, then my vision expands. If I can get you to hit your goal, my vision expands. Because now I'm not teaching you. Like I have a vision to where, okay, finances is something that we do. That's the tool. But when I run a BPM, I want people to know that their vision their vision can be used with this tool. Does that make sense? So like if somebody comes into my BPM, they know that this is the tool, this is the hammer, the finances part. Now I could just take the hammer and how do I correlate that to their life to where they can use this to build in their vision. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so a lot of times we try to like put this into them. How do I get their vision to let them know that this is the hammer they can use to build their vision? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, Tim had a question.
Yeah, I just had a question. So when you said you were part-time for the first 9 months or so?
Yeah.
Okay, what was your schedule usually like then?
Well, I worked at night. I was a security guard.
Oh, so you just did everything during the day? Okay.
Yeah, so.
And then my other question was, once you were full-time and say now you're developing your team, you got these agents, these associates that you're working with,
Right.
how have you, if you do, or do you just go with it as far as, hey, this is how much time I'm going to spend with running appointments, this is how much I'm working with my team, and then actually prospecting too? Are they all set, or?
So every day is different. So what I do is I align with my leadership every day. I'm the closest person to Sergio and MB. That's the reason why, because I demand it. I don't ask for it. Whether they like it or not, I'm following them and asking them questions. I mean, Sergio's this tall. You know what I mean? It's funny already that I'm following a guy this tall, but he's in a place where I want to be. You know what I mean? So why wouldn't I go and follow somebody that's already made the path for me to walk? Why would I go and divert that and try to bake something that's going to take longer potentially? You know what I mean? So I'm going to ask him every single day, like, look, what do I got to do? Does the schedule look good? He's like, no, let's do this. You got to prospect this time, check in with me. It's not so much, like I said, everybody's like, oh, we're our own bosses. It's not so much checking in. It's so much like holding yourself accountable to what you say you're going to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so each day it
Yeah,
really
each
changes.
day it's like, yeah, if I have a full schedule, like a full schedule for me is probably like 12 appointments a week. That's probably like the most I've had so far.
12 in a month?
Oh, in a week. Yeah, 12 like appointments in a week. So, because I like, well, I'm in the building phase like you guys.
Yeah.
So I'm not focusing on running appointments. I'm not focusing on that. I'm focusing on how many people I can bring into the business and build their vision. So I naturally transition to that person instead of, trying to be like, oh, I want to run this. In reality, the foundation is building, it's recruiting, it's doing all of that stuff. So I got to keep my head, chained to that, or else I will. Sometimes I catch myself saying, oh, I want to run appointments, I got to realign myself. Be like, look, I'm still in the building phase. As I build, all that stuff will come natural. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of us get caught up because it feels good to be CFT, it feels good to be, independent, and then, yeah, so it feels good to be like that and have this quote unquote independence, but like really, you just gotta stay aligned the whole time until we become that person naturally, and you'll know. If you have to question it, then you're not ready.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
If you have to question.
if you have to question it, you're not ready. So if you have to ask yourself, am I a leader? Then you're not really a leader yet. If I'm ready, am I ready to promote? You're not ready to promote. So it's like questioning is like a form of doubt already. You know what I mean? So
Right.
That's one just.
Right there.
so yeah, that's the way I gauge it. So
Yeah.
every time I haven't had that conversation yet. Every time I have that conversation, it's okay. The moment I have a doubt, boom, I just go back. And it's funny. I'm glad that I'm having this because right now I'm feeling good and everything. But when I go back and rerun everything I talk about, I better be that, or else I'm just fake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who else? Questions?
I feel like I went to school with you.
Me?
Yeah.
Wait, North Carolina?
Oh. I played with guys from North Carolina. So.
I have a question. So, for those that are parents and you just mentioned that you have a son.
Yeah.
How do you balance out obviously being a parent and your kid is full time and it looks like you're in the office all day?
Yeah, so,
and balancing being dad too.
I don't know how the office is here, but I bring them.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah, I enroll them into the vision. Like when I track my meeting attendance and stuff, I'll put my name and my son's name. Anytime I can squeeze his name and make him feel a part of it, he enrolls himself into it. So now he's over there, whoosh, boom. He's like, Dad, when are you gonna do this thing? I'm like, come on, son.
Yeah.
How's it going?
What was your biggest recruiting month, and what was your mindset during that month?
The recruiting month as a team, I think we hit 15. Yeah, it was 15. I think that was in the month of June. That's actually when he first texted me. I know, I'm sorry. I wasn't ignoring him. We were in the
We're
run.
good. We're good.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, and my focus on that, I went and got myself 2 directs that month, and then that was when my main focus was taprooting. And I learned how to taproot, and that right there is money. You know what I mean? Look, like if obviously Schleman knows the business in and out, but at that moment, I was taking taprooting, and if I could do it, man, run with it. If you have momentum already, I would say just run with it. You know what I mean? Why try to change something that's already working for you? But then you got to reevaluate yourself. Like that month, I didn't really go and prospect or anything like that, so I had to like realign myself with, all right, go back to the foundation.
So when I first noticed you were at the Spring Sizzler,
Yes.
and during the break, I noticed we was with our little team at the pizza place, and I noticed you were sitting there with your team, and they're so engaged with you, and like you guys do like little mini contests or to keep them engaged. What are some of the things that you do to like keep them focused and like respect you?
They got to know that you care. You know what I mean? How can I listen to someone where I don't feel like they care about what I really want to do in this business? This going and doing the training, that's all going to be there. It's in the book. It's already written. It's set in stone. So we're going to go through that over and over and over again. But how do they feel when we sit with them? Do they know that Siaosi is going to take them to their goals like he said he would? When we do the AMA, does he know that like do they really? And you can feel it. You know what I mean? When you sit down and talk to your team, they know when you care about them. You know what I mean? When you actually hang out with them other than in the office. When you ask them about questions that are not business. That's what I do with my team, and that's why I've gotten people to stick. My recruiting numbers aren't super high, but the way I get people to stick is to let them know that I really care for them, that what I'm gonna do, let my vision be big enough to where they can fit in it. So that's my deal. However, I don't know.
I was gonna say, could you write your name on the
Oh, yeah.
I have spelled it in your Instagram handle?
All right. Go ahead.
So you're still on associate contract
Yes,
right now,
sir.
right? What's been your biggest cash flow and your biggest points month?
Biggest cash flow is probably gonna be this month.
What do you
I
think
just
it'll
submitted
be?
18,000.
What do you think it'll be?
It'll probably be like, it might be $5,000. Yeah.
And the biggest point?
Because the person I did it with was a training associate, so I still got the overrides.
Okay. And your biggest points will probably be this month too.
Yeah, probably this month.
Probably be what, over 20 easy.
Yeah, probably around 15 to 20 around there.
Okay.
Probably a little bit more. So slowly but surely, you know what I mean? If you look at it, it's not really much, but everything is like this. Is how my business is.
Yeah, when the recruiting is like this,
Yeah.
and the team size keep growing, then you've got the consistency of
Exactly.
production that follows, as opposed to
Yeah,
production.
all this that's happening right now is what happened like 2-3 months ago.
Yeah.
So like that's why I'm like consistently going, which is cool because that's how I enrolled into MD instead of taking it, and now I still gotta learn because everything's up here first. You know what I mean? So a lot of people get this title and now they're held to this position that they have. Right? Have you guys ever read the 5 levels of leadership?
Yeah.
All right, so the first level is position, right? So you might be an MD, so now you have this position, doesn't necessarily mean you're that leader. You have the potential and the platform to be that leader.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you still got to live up to that. You still got to mentally grow to that. You still got to become that person. So that's why, you know, I have no problem staying right here. You know what I mean?
Right.
So as I grow, I explode to an MD. And now I can skip some senior associate, and now I can really compete with not only in our hierarchy, but on a company level as well.
Right.
So it's all about, you know, a lot of people want to go fast, but that's how a lot of people go fast out the door. It's like there's no shortcut. That's what's so funny. Football, there's a whistle to it. Has anybody played sports? All right. So if your coach tells you to run, you're gonna run, right? No matter how much you hate it or how much you don't like it, you know that they're gonna blow the whistle one day or one time or another. So it doesn't matter how many you run. You know there's always gonna be an ending to it. Business is so much different because there's nobody there to blow the whistle. You know, there is no whistle. The moment I stop, everything stops. You know? Dang, I feel like I'm about to go play football. Because it's true. I've been in a place where we had to run 36 gassers, and I came to a point to where I sat down. And I just knew they were going to blow the whistle. But in business, if I choose to sit down, there's nobody there that's going to blow my whistle. I learned that real fast.
And it's all on you.
It's all on me, or on you, whatever your business is. So just know that there's no ending to that. There's nobody to blow the whistle. There's always, it's ongoing. That's why I feel like this is the mentally. It doesn't compare to football. Football, you guys can all play football. This, not everybody could do the WFG. I know some football players I could bring in here, they'll crumble mentally. You know what I mean? So, I'll be happy that you have an MVP here to teach you guys that stuff. So, anything else? Yes, sir.
Last question.
Not so much question as a comment. For somebody who's been in the business as short a time as you, I'm very impressed with your knowledge, understanding, and your maturity.
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
Can I just say a comment too?
Yeah.
I had a dream, because I knew you were in this office and I know who you are, so I was like, other than slamming, I had you two like critiquing me on my talk, so I was like, so I was like watching it,
If he can do it, if he can do it, if he can do it, I can do it. All right, let's get up. Here's what needs to happen next. One of you fools needs to go speak in Jay Jr.'s office. I need to have Jay Jr. blow me up and go, hey, I need to go. I'm going, yeah, give him some time, give him some time. Let's see how bad he really wants it, right? Jason, your butt down, all right? Siaosi, great job. Will you hang around for a few minutes?
Yeah.
A couple of us going to grab a bite to eat with you. I need to get those, train the trainers sign-up class sheets back to me, whoever's got them. There's 2 of them. If I could get those real quick. Here's one of them. Thank you, thank you. There's the other one, Mabel. Thank you, thank you. All right. 9 a.m. sharp Monday morning. Don't be late. 9 a.m. sharp. Be on time. If you're on time, you're late. Like, get here early and be ready to go. It's going to be an unbelievable day, but we got it packed out. So we need you on time, suited, booted, like ready to go after it. Last thing, Schleiman Bay Shop meeting in the conference room.
All right, life builders, over in the office.